Hey! We're doing this again.
Yep.
We're back for another Chatcast. This one we're going to talk about, well, actually, first of all, do you have fun doing these?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I'm a chatty person by nature, so even if it was just you and me and we weren't showing the world what we were talking about, I would still talk to you about this stuff.
Good. I think I would too. I'm an introverted person, as I've mentioned several times on my little vlogs that I've been putting out until that becomes something different. You're probably going to keep hearing that. And then I've mentioned it on the Chatcast, and I've probably mentioned it in our world building videos. But I don't mind really talking a lot about this stuff. It's fun to relive and rehash and explore and expand and find out new things about each other. Anyways, let me quit rambling and get on with the getting on. Future, goals for the future.
Ooh.
So for me, again, since I usually am the one that comes up with these questions, for now, I feel like that also means I should start all of them first. And so my goals for the future, they're getting pretty slim. I don't really want let me clarify. As an artist, it's like I can shred well enough on the guitar still, and having a student has really revitalized a component of that because I had to get a little bit better at that in order to teach him how to do that.
Right.
I can shred pretty well. I'd like to get a little bit better at drums, but not too much. I'm not trying to be a drum freak. Keyboard. Keyboard is probably in a new goal that I have to revitalize, to bring back. It's where I started, and I want to get stronger at that, right? And I think that really what I would ultimately like to do in the future is to learn more about how to be a composer. I want to go that direction because this IP building experience with you has really made me appreciate and like to focus a little bit more on guys that do soundtracks for movies and different things like that, and have that mindset and been really inspired lately of creating sounds and musical pieces to enhance the environment of another art, to where it's really cool and like oddly refreshing and revitalizing to have my art in the context of supporting another art than it just being a thing that's there as the sole art form.
Yeah.
It's interesting that collab is bringing that and kind of shaping my future goals. As far as music production goes, I'm really at a really good spot with that. I feel like I'm really able to crank out now. It's taken me so many years because, frankly, I should have had a teacher on that and a mentor on that a lot sooner. If I could say there's one area where I wasted a lot of time with trial and error and stuff like that, it would be in the recording and mixing of music. Because now that I finally utilize the Fletcher Munson principle a little bit better, for you audio nerds, you'll know what that is. For 99.99 repeating percent of you guys won't know what that is. Long story short, 3600 hertz is a resonant frequency of your ear canal, and so you are incredibly sensitive to that. That means if I took your ear canal out of your body and made it into just like a pipe, like a whistle, it would resonate at the 3600 hertz, right?
I hate so much about that analogy.
But I mean, that's true. So with that now, all of a sudden when I learned that, it was like, oh, well, this is easy. Like I honestly, I hate to say that, it sounds incredibly cocky, but like it's pretty easy for me to make at least recordings I think sound good, and for the purposes I want them to sound good. So anyways, I feel like I kind of got that, and I'm at this spot now where I, over the years of gaining all my skills that were my goals are more now this overarching thing. It's not so much like I want to learn an individual skill or I want to get better in this one area. It's more, okay, I want to get better as in the mindset of a composer, as a producer, in the sense of, hey, you bring me in there and I'm going to help your band take where it's naturally talented and enhance it to, that's a misconception that people have. They go, when the heck is the producer on an album? Like, isn't it the guy that like mixes it? Or like, why is there a mixing engineer and then a producer and a mastering guy and an editor? Well, it's because all those things are really actually a lot different. And what the producer will do is he'll sit down and be like, this chorus here, you should add a sound. You should make it 5 BPM faster. You should slow this part down. Like, that's where the producer comes in and kind of smooths all that out. So I want to kind of grow musically in that area as a producer. I want to grow as a composer. And so those are my goals, is to look at that and how I can use my talents to better support other arts and create a better final product, and not just look at it from that tight lens all the time. So anyways, what are your future goals as Kyle Durrell, the artist?
So, a lot of being where I'm at in life, I guess, a lot of what I have going right now is mostly like maintenance. It's in that cycle of creativity, you know. It's like a lot of the skills I have are skills that I have that I know how to maintain, skills that I'd like to develop. One thing that's kind of like a pipe dream that I've done a lot of research in. I've talked to a lot of other artists about that do it, about it, and I've read a lot of stuff about it, but I've never actually ventured into that arena simply because time is actually animation. That's something that I kind of, in the future, I'd not necessarily be like really good at it, but I just want to give it a shot, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like how I venture out and I want to play the drums. Like, I don't want to be the drummer that I am as the guitarist that I am.
Right.
But I just like to do it.
Yeah.
I want to know how to do it.
Exactly. I just kind of want to take a crack at it at some point. And so that's something that, you know, I'm already kind of setting a lot of, I guess, bricks in place for that, to build up that skill. Doing a ton of research, following a lot of people, listening to people talk about animation in ways that you wouldn't necessarily think about somebody talking about animation. But yeah, so I think that for me, and as the future goes along, you know, I have, you know, design skills. I have, you know, I can paint, draw. I know a little bit about sculpture, like I said previously. I don't really get too into that, but all those things kind of come to the front when you think about animation. So animation is one of those things that I just have never really dove into, and I've always kind of wanted to. And so as a future goal of mine, I kind of want to polish that, not even polish it, just like build it, build towards that, just so it's something I can say I have in my, you know, arsenal. But also one other thing is, this is kind of a future goal that I think is just more about relaxation in art and having fun, as I want to get back into painting every now and then.
Actually putting the paint on the canvas.
Yeah, because for some reason, like, that's not something I did until college. Like, I didn't actually paint anything until college. And then when I did paint something in college, I was terrible at it because thinking in color is so much different than just thinking in like grayscale and drawing. So like charcoal and thinking of everything in grayscale is, you know, but when you start thinking of, rather than like, oh, you know, the shadow on his face is dark, so that's black. It's like, no, it's not. It's actually just like a darker like version of whatever his skin tone is in the light. And then looking at somebody's skin tone in the light and being like, you know, oh, it's this color. It's like, no, it's actually got a bunch of different colors in it, and there's a lot of reflective light happening. That thinking about color in that way, I don't know, that was just kind of like, to me, that was almost like, you know, how your grandparents do like Sudokus to chill. Yeah. Thinking about color and being like, okay, that's a problem of like, how do I think about color and get all those colors in there and like make it look real? That to me is relaxing, and it's something that also makes me a more well-rounded person as far as a graphic designer, because then I'm thinking about color in more abstract ways and I can do cool things with designs and stuff. So
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool. Animation and painting, I like that because they're kind of separate.
Yeah, one's just kind of about like I guess a pressure valve release of just like relaxation, and the other's kind of like actually a goal of where I want to be skill level wise.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. Well, yeah. So there's our future goals, and that was this Chatcast. Yeah. And we'll be coming back again, of course, every single Friday until the Lord calls us home.